Hey, it's the Redeye stream number 75. Today we're gonna go into tinfoil hat, um, hollow Earth, flat Earth, missing time hypothesis, stuff like that. How are you guys doing today?
I'm good, thank you very much. You?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Better than 40 ounces at the DMV. Hopefully he makes it out of there alive. Well, hopefully everybody makes it out of there alive.
That's always a good day at the DMV.
I thought he went yesterday to the DMV.
I don't know. He seems to be going there every day now. Maybe there's a...
Well, see, he needed a different form of payment. He had only brought a credit card, but they needed cash, and then he paid for that. Then he needed one other thing, and he had cash, but then he needed a check to pay for the other thing.
They should just take Bitcoin already.
I see what you did there.
No. All right, so let's start with the quickest one, the phantom time hypothesis. So this is pretty much asserting that the Emperor Constantine collaborated to reset the calendar to 1000 AD. It was, let's see, Wikipedia, so it's really hard to just read it off of here. But they're saying that the whole entire early Middle Ages didn't happen. So it was the fall of the Roman Empire, and then Constantine. Or no, Constantine was at the end of the Roman Empire, but there was no any of that really. I don't know. Anybody on the Wikipedia, you can help me out. I'm stumbling here a little bit.
So you're saying the cake is a lie?
Now, Mrs. Ogre, if you sit there and fall asleep, you're going to make your screen look like it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay,
I'm like Mr. Rogers. I just changed my chair. I changed the thing on my chair instead of the cardigan.
I'm not going to lie,
Okay,
watching
so
Mr. Ogre walk out like that, it kind of reminded me how Donald Trump might walk out.
At night, thank you. At night, this robe that I'm wearing is my dog's blanket. My wife's right here. She's telling you I'm not joking. And the blanket that you see on my chair every day, this is my blanket. Because Mrs. Ogre likes thick quilts over her at night, and I sleep on top of them with my Mexican blanket, no matter how cold it is. That's what I do. But anyway, what a wonderful time it's going to be tonight. I don't think you faggots know anything about flat Earth. In fact, you probably all think that the Earth is round, but have no scientific basis to prove it.
Hey, we're on the phantom time hypothesis. One theory at a time.
No, that's even better. That's even fucking crazier than flat Earth. So I'm on it. Yes.
Okay, good, because that's why I'm stumbling a little bit. It is pretty crazy. So the proposal: the scarcity of archaeological evidence that can be reliably dated to the period of 614 AD to 911 AD. Part of it, they're saying that there is hardly any archaeological evidence that could be reliably dated to that period. And they're also insinuating that the relation between the Julian calendar and the Gregorian calendar match the solar or tropical year. So it would have been very easy to mess up the dates when they actually switched it over. So there could be 1,000 years missing and we wouldn't even know it.
So what you're saying is basically they could have just wrote a whole shit ton of history and it's crap.
These are so.
Yeah, exactly. And what they're insinuating is the reason they did that was to strengthen their power. Like Charlemagne, if you showed a relation between France and Rome, then it would secure the Roman monarchy or the French monarchy. Excuse me.
They're all dying over there.
But the only problem with that, guys, is just if you look at it, you're like, what are you going to tell the people at the time? Oh, by the way, yeah, it's 1,000 years later. They're going to say what? Or are you just trying to just fuck people up down the line? Because most folks wouldn't actually know what maybe specific year it is according to the calendar.
Oh dear.
Well, in the medieval days, they were widely illiterate, correct? So it was only the church that really could read and write anyway. And when they needed to know what day it was, they actually went to their priest because they saw him every day.
Well, if you concentrate all knowledge in one area, I mean, that could lead to negative occurrences.
Well, and the church could literally erase.
Don't be trolling.
Whole section of history or rewrite a whole section of history, could it not? If it's controlling all the knowledge in the area anyway.
Wait. So what you're saying is an all-powerful entity was literally deleting stuff so folks couldn't see it or think about it?
Memory hole. Oh, dear.
Oh, that would never happen.
Never heard of such a thing. I mean, my God, the church doing something like that? I'm shocked.
Well, see, here's the thing. If they were to do that, though, the one problem that you would run into there is, well, synchronicity would state that we'd see this again. I mean, it's not like we have powerful entities just deleting things so folks can't see them. I mean, come on, guys. That's a conspiracy theory.
Fucking memory.
Or actually rewriting a whole section of history to put more security into their base of power. That could never happen either, right?
No.
I believe a wise Romanian once said, "Delete this."
And then Hillary smashed her phone with a hammer.
I didn't even open yet.
Oh,
Smashed her own phone.
We're just now delving into some English candies. What are these called? These are fruit.
Jelly.
Yeah, but they're from Romney's of Kendal, old-fashioned confectionery, from Kendal, Cumbria, England.
Ooh, you got the expensive stuff.
Yeah, the Brit send these to me. Really
Nice.
good, man. I mean, these are so bloody good. Holy shit! There's nothing can really say, and I know I'm getting off topic, but these right here, these Romneys of Kendal. Oh,
Delicious.
they're like inside. They're like Turkish treat, you know, with that very Turkish delight, you know, with a really sugary coating. They're under. I've never had anything like them. They're great.
These gummy bears are good.
Yeah, the Britisher, he sends me treats that you can't even get. He sends me so many round trees, like the tube round trees, you know.
Yeah, these are awesome.
The round trees, the things. He sends me candies, and we send him sweeties too now. But I think we try to keep up with him, but he's always giving us shit that is so good. We're trying. Oh, that was
well. You heard it here, folks. Ogre has been importing those illegal eggs from the UK, so he's screwed now.
I'm sorry. I got to show deference to Cadbury.
What were those Cadbury things that he sent? The squiggly.
Oh, curly whirlies.
Curly whirlies.
Those are awesome.
Ooh.
Curly whirlies are great.
Have you tried Cadbury's cream egg yet?
Cream egg?
What, Cadbury's cream eggs? Yeah,
Yep.
those are.
We've only had the American style. I've heard that the ones there are different.
Gross.
The ones here are not that great.
The British ones are nice.
Yeah, I've heard that they're way different and way better.
Cadbury cream eggs are an orgasm in my mouth.
Yeah, and so that's from memes who would be probably eating the American style ones. And for me, I mean, to each their own. Myself, I don't mind Cadbury cream eggs. Mrs. Ogre hates them. I'll say this though. Who eats Peeps?
Oh, Peeps.
Peeps.
Peeps are awesome.
Everybody know what I'm talking about? Peeps.
Only if they're stale.
Yes, still, they're the best.
They're so chewy.
Or frozen.
It's the most bloody disgusting
Frozen
thing.
Peeps are awesome.
I'm gonna have to side with Mrs. Ogre on this one.
Yeah. Well,
Have you had the chocolate dipped Peeps?
those are good now.
Oh, they're fabulous.
The chocolate dipties. Now, and I have to admit, they're best when they're stale too. Mrs. Ogre, we're derailing this pre-stream.
Well, you brought it up.
No, I didn't. It was you. You were
did.
fucking eating the sweets, and you said, "Tell them how cool we are. Tell them the British." I was like, "Fine." I'll tell them fucking Brits sent us some shit, like we're royalty or something.
So back to the missing space time continuum here. Yeah, this would be very interesting. See, for me, I'm more of along the lines of it seems more like folks probably just weren't good at telling time and they didn't hammer it down all the way. I mean, my number one universal truth is people ruin everything. So I'm going to say Well, seeing back in Genesis, Noah lived 930 years. Maybe folks kept track of time a little bit differently, because technically time is a social construct, right?
Maybe they live longer.
It's true.
Time's a social construct.
Yeah, well, that is an argument, yes. I mean, they say everything else is. Why couldn't time be? I mean, that is a valid argument. Unless they're willing to take off the table all the other crazy arguments. Then, well, yeah, time is maybe not social, but time is a individual psychological construct. I'll at least buy that. And I would
It's a relative measurement, yeah.
Right, there you go.
Well, yeah, because even right now in real life, not this conspiracy fucking tinfoil hat world, you have North Korea. They did change their calendar. They date their years now from the birth of the freaking guy that led the DPRK.
I think like Kim Il-sung, grandfather.
Kim Il-sung, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what they changed their calendar to.
Kim Jong-il, and then now, the one.
So it's like, what, year 78 to them or something like that?
80, yeah, something like that. 79, yes, something like that, yeah.
So, I mean, the idea that somebody in the past could have done this, interesting, but here's the criticism, and it's really easy. Haley's comment, we still predict it accurately with the calendar we have, so I'm betting nobody changed anything, really. I mean, because you look at astronaut, all this other shit, that all still lines up, and it lines up all the way back.
And
you
that's
have stories in the comment. Yeah.
That's a good point right there. Because the Gregorian calendar hasn't changed, but yet we still predict these things. The new moon even would be a good argument. That's all, yeah.
Yeah, so I think this theory is rubbish, but it was a good, quick one to jump off on.
Well, I think it's important to cite. Exactly. I think it is good to cite the source, Herbert Illig. He was born in 1947 in Bavaria, and basically, I guess he was part of the Association of Catastrophism, which catastrophism was the theory that the Earth has largely been shaped by sudden, short-lived, violent events, possibly worldwide in the scope. To me, that kind of sounds like the guy saying, the world's going to end. Oh my God, we're going to hit the year 1000 or whatever the heck you want. I don't know. I haven't researched that much, but I'm just looking. We should always consider where such theories and stuff are derived from and the evidence supporting them. So that's my bit.
Yeah, I told you with the chocolate orange too. I told you they're going to be gone.
I ate some of the chocolate orange.
Man, that was fucking so good. Oh my goodness, great.
What say you, Voice? Did somebody change all the dates on us, or is this just rubbish?
It's a sign of human
Cabby
ingenuity that we always come up with new ideas to explain the unexplainable.
Cabbage, Mrs. Ogre's here just for you, bro. Oh, he left. Fuck him. Never mind.
Wow, Cabbage didn't want to see me.
What a fucking cunt.
It's okay, Ogre. I wasn't in the middle of talking or anything. It's okay. Mm-hmm.
What? Oh, sorry. We're not on air, are we?
Yes.
We're on air right now?
Yes.
Well, someone send me the link. I thought we were fucking pre-hangout. I didn't know.
Yeah, there's a little live thing in the corner that's up there.
Good Lord.
Just in case you weren't aware of how Hangouts works, Ogre.
Hey, Pirate, how are you doing today?
Well, I just got done injecting heroin into the tip of my dick, so I feel like shit right now.
That should have made you feel better.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought it would, but it didn't.
Try the scrotum, the base of the
Kind of
scrotum.
makes me feel like I need to go on a rampage.
Femoral artery. Try the femoral artery at the base of the scrotum next time.
Oh my God.
Oh, I am sorry, Voice. I really did think we were in the thing because I didn't look. I wasn't even. I just pulled the window up. So yeah, Pirate. I don't know how these things work. I think I've been on one once, but
It's
What were
okay,
you
Ogre.
saying?
It's not like your name will go on a list or anything, you know.
No, but I tell you what, the meme that you sent, I stole. I don't know if we can say it on air right now, but the one that you sent about the Jewish girl's phone number, I stole that one. That's the most brilliant meme I've seen in about a month. It's good. Mrs. Ogre laughed also, and she's married to a Jew. So that feel of approval.
Kind of funny.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna shut up now. Hi, Mad Dodge.
No, it's all good. Voice, any you want to get back to what you were saying, or do you want to move on?
No, we'll just move on.
Move on to the reason Ogre is here. Flat Earth. Convince me if you can, please.
Oh, I shouldn't have to, but what I would say is that the science is on the side of that it is either flat or much, 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 much larger than they say. I would field any questions. And also, I'm not a scientist. I just know that according to the scientists, that the way to to judge the fall of the circumference of the Earth is 8 inches per mile squared by the distance. That means at 80 miles away from Chicago in Grand Rapids, Michigan, I should not be able to see anything except for the very tip top of the and I could tell you, I could like go on to 50 different things, but this is one of the most convincing to me because I've witnessed it. I shouldn't be able to, because, and then, oh, well, it's water. What is water self-levels? And then they say, oh, well, it's dimples like a tennis ball. Well, there would be some places then where there was these huge ridges and you wouldn't be able to see something that was 50 feet away from you because it would drop off so suddenly. And then they say, oh, well, it's so huge. And no, you can't say that because I'm going by the measurements you gave me. And those measurements are, I'll say it again, 8 inches per mile squared by the distance drop. So, if you're, as I have seen, Mrs. Ogre, have you ever seen Orlando, Florida from Apopka, Florida? Have you ever witnessed on a clear day where you could see the sun bank, the whole thing, the whole bloody sun bank? And what were you, about 30 miles away at the time?
Yeah.
And yet at that point, you should have only been able to see the very tip top of the sun bank, which looks like an upside down. So, I mean, I could go on and on, but that's probably one of the good arguments out of 50. And I'll say once again that the only way that something can be empirical science is if it's replicatable, if you can replicate it. And you can't dunk a basketball into water, spin it with all your might coming out of the water and think that the water is going to stick to it. It flies off of it. Oh, yeah, we have this globe with this magical thing they invented called gravity that holds the water to the earth, even though it's spinning around at 24,000 miles an hour, hurtling through space at 180,000 miles an hour. I mean, anyway, I'm telling you, I could go on and on and on. And it kills me because they told me that it was round from the time they told me that 1 + 1 is 2. So it's indoctrinated in me also. But being someone that loves science, man, it looks shady.
Okay, well, one of the basic arguments that people will always bring up, so I might as well bring it up immediately. Satellites. They exist. They've shown us pictures of the round Earth.
Oh, you talking to me? I mean, I want other people to get involved.
Or anybody, yeah,
no,
anybody,
that's
yeah,
bullshit.
Anybody.
Obviously, they even say that it's Photoshop. They from the moon, the shot of the Earth, if the proportions are what they say, you couldn't take a picture. The moonrise they show you, that you'd have to be somewhere out by Jupiter, Mars, Venus to get that shot.
That's actually an interesting point that the ogre brings up, because technically doesn't the same face, like the light side of the moon, is always facing the Earth?
Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's interesting, because and again, Mad Dodge, my standard argument would be that basically, yeah, basically the satellite, but more accurately the GPS thing. Like, if I can be in North America and the GPS works, and I can be in South America or Australia, and those same 21 satellites triangulating is pretty much my best, literally, unless you're actually up there and you're actually circling the Earth.
Well, but if you have a flat plane with large towers, and you have those towers interspiced, among the mountains and some in the mountains to transport. All it is triangulation. When you think that you have to have a satellite for triangulation, you're not understanding, and I don't mean you memes, but people aren't understanding how triangulation works. It's only sending a radio signal from at least 3 places. The more you have, the better, and judging the time it takes to get to that place from each spot, and then that tells you your exact location. The idea that you can't, they're putting equipment up on this huge, I live in the middle of nowhere. And my cousin actually, that big tower they just put up over, they just put this huge tower up over in the marsh field. And it's like, man, I asked Daryl, I was like, what are they doing over there, man? They're paying you for that. I was like, oh yeah, they pay us, man. They're leased that as long as it's there. If they don't pay us, we'll tear it down with our tractors. Cool. But why is it there? We already have it's for GPS, in my humble opinion. So yeah,
Okay.
good point though, memes. That is also a very good argument about because how do we get GPS? You watch I'll shut up.
I will take a practical approach to this. 10,000 years of recorded history, millions of voyages and flights, and somehow no one's found the edge yet.
Oh yeah, we found the edge. They won't let
really?
you go. They won't let you go to it. Try to go to. Okay. Oh, that's funny, voice. You big smart ass. I'll tell you what. Well, then get a boat, Buckstick, and sail it to Antarctica. Guess what? There's 48 countries that have a treaty that say you can't go there. That treaty with those 48 countries has lasted longer than the Geneva Convention, longer than anything. And they all agree that you can't go there. If you try, they'll
we know
your ship.
it's because of the Nazi base and the penguins. That's why you're not allowed to go down. It's got nothing to do with an edge.
It's the fucking aliens.
It's political.
It's the Nazis' base.
And 48 countries have agreed on this political thing for the last 70 some years since Admiral Byrd. I highly doubt it. It'd be the only thing they agreed on.
Well, no,
Yeah,
no,
but
it was
according
Admiral
to you-
Byrd.
according
who,
to-
Yeah, but it's because there's fuck all there.
No, hang on, whoa. No, according to you, if the world is flat, then Antarctica is only one small bit. Therefore, I could go to the edge anywhere. So,
Yes. If you start
You
heading
need at
south,
least 3
you'll get
edges.
to the edge.
Why isn't it pizza shaped then?
Yeah, but if you go south, in other words, away from the North Pole, which is the center of the flat Earth, you will eventually get to the edge. It's just the way it is.
Anyway, nonsense. By the way, it was quite funny listening to you guys try and understand how satellites work and cell towers. Cell towers work in a very specific way because they are much lower frequency. When you're beaming something up to, lower power. Now, when Arthur C. Clarke explained this whole principle, which is the reason you can't put a patent on satellites, because he came up with the whole idea, and it's line of sight. When you're trying to beam a message, you have to be able to see the next, point, the next receiver, and then it gets passed from there over and over, which is the only way you can get round. If it was flat, you wouldn't need the repeaters.
Isn't that where the handoff between tower technology comes into play? Like the handoff between the towers, and when you're driving along like the highway or something.
That's on the ground. Yeah.
Okay.
That's on the ground. Yeah, but that's on the ground. That's got, you see, the satellites, because they're orbiting and they've got this, you get 3 or 4 or 5 of them. They're all, they can see, like so many of them can see each other. So you end up with effectively a net around the Earth, which is, where they can all see each other. So there's a routing path to get around. That's what it. That's
wait
the
a
purpose of them.
second. Are you saying they're building an electromagnetic wall around the Earth?
No, these are those. Never said that. No, it's just the way of transfer.
I know he said something about he liked Reese Peters. What's that?
Reese Peters?
What you said, Reese Peters?
No, repeaters.
You said that I don't understand how towers work because
they are
Peters.
Oh, yeah, cell phone tower repeaters.
They're
repeaters. Satellite repeaters.
Yeah, satellite repeaters and cell tower repeaters.
So we got somebody with a working brain here. Thank you, Names.
So anyway, the satellite thing pretty much closed it. And not only that, you don't need to go into space. You certainly don't need to go to the moon to see the curvature. A young guy, Canadian boy, did that balloon and sent it up. It was the
and proved there's no curvature whatsoever. That the horizon rises to meet your eye.
You can
With the
watch the
fish
whole
eye
video.
lens, there's been no fucking proof of
It wasn't a fisheye lens. It was a basic. It was a basic webcam. It was a It was a webcam attached to a Raspberry Pi.
They did that Red Bull jump from the highest jump ever with the parachute, and they tried to show a fisheye lens, but then when they showed the camera that was shooting out from inside that wasn't a GoPro, you could see that the horizon rose to meet your eye, even way up there. The idea that there's a space, you're crazy. There's gravy up there. There's no space. The moon's a flat disk 4,000 miles away from the surface of the earth, just like the sun.
Oh my God.
Well, that's what science does. You laugh, moron. You laugh like a moron.
I'm not a moron. I'm not
why.
laughing like a moron. You're promoting all this shit like a moron.
Every scientific study shown proves what I'm saying.
And that's what
I don't believe it either.
Yeah,
I don't want to believe it for sure.
Professors from the
scientific study ever made, everything
from
that's
university
reproduced.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you were saying this thing that they invented that's called gravity.
So much
okay, all right. Gravity doesn't exist, so show me you flying. All right.
Gravity is a
drop
social
a
construct.
ball. Yeah, exactly.
Gravity is a social construct.
Yeah. It's used in all Newtonian physics. So it's a whole of Einstein's equations and theories that make most of the stuff that we take for granted actually work.
That needs a genius.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Congratulations, Cabbage. You've been trolled.
Yeah, he's the one who's.
Well, no, he was playing his character. He was playing his flat Earth character.
He knows damn well. I know. I think.
Just relax, memes. Just relax.
No, I'm sorry, but this one, science is important.
Well, the argument I always heard back. I just want to get this. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but they always just told me it's like, yeah, back in the day, the ship was sailing back to Hispaniola. Oh, you see the mast first. Oh, look, there's the rest of the ship. Oh, world must be round. Okay. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why they have a crow's nest. I've said all this to Ogre plenty of times before. And he does get excitable, though.
Oh, it's just funny. Anyway, I'm not going to break character now, damn it.
Okay, to argue your point, you could actually say we're inside a Dyson sphere. That would actually allow for your version to be true.
Well, and I've also a very relevant theory about hollow Earth, the demons that they live inside the Earth and they fly out at the North Pole, and it's a hollow kind of a situation. That could be possible, but maybe another time we'll talk about it.
Yeah, you need, what's his name? Dr. Bob.
A tinfoil hat is what you're looking for.
Bombay?
No, it's a Bill, what the hell was his name?
Bill Nye.
Mad as a hatter, absolutely mad as a. You know the guy who claimed that he'd been down into the tunnels where underneath, which is the airport.
Oh yeah,
Bill Nye the science guy.
No,
yeah, I remember.
No, Cabbage, he got his fingers shot off, right? He was missing fingers. The guy you're talking about. He said the subterranean alien Greys shot his fucking. I know what you're talking about.
He was going on about
Beacons World type of guy.
The war that existed that was going on underneath the Nevada deserts or something like that. It was absolutely. The guy was just totally shocked. I mean, I don't know. You'd think he'd be medicated for his own health, for his own safety.
All right. Well, look, lads. Bad Dodge. I've got me tea for the night, my chamomile, and I'm about ready to roll a joint the size of my big toe. So, any other serious, relevant questions on the flat Earth, I'd be happy to answer them because it's a serious topic.
Altitude.
Well, no, I want to know what's holding us in. Is it a giant dome? Like we're in a snow globe? Is that how this works?
I think
yes.
To answer that, I think that we're in a huge plane, a huge infinite plane that goes on in every direction for infinity. There's nothing above us that we would notice as a dome because the dome would be infinity also. There is a height to which I believe that human beings can't pass. But if you were to keep going in a direction that we would call south, which could be any direction that you are right now that goes away from north, as we all know, eventually you'll come to a large ice wall. If you could get past that ice wall and the 48 countries would allow you to, and you were able to travel on, maybe you would find another place where a solar disk was rotating close to the surface, and maybe the magma underneath this huge, vast, infinite plane would be rising up close to the surface of the ground from beneath, and you'd have a geothermic area like we have here, conducive to life. In fact, I believe, as Admiral Byrd did say, that there were vast resources out there, and there's possibly other continents very close to us on the other side of this ice wall that they just won't let us get to. Very possibly the elites of Earth live there and have their bases there and are using resources from who knows? But that's what I believe. Yes.
So you're saying the movie 2012 is correct?
Okay.
I've not seen that movie, but I'm going to watch it now to see that reference.
All I'm saying is, in the words of the immortal Lucy Lawless, when in doubt, a wizard did it.
Okay, look, Ogre, I've got a question about all this to expand upon this little dome idea. So I walk outside at night and look up at the stars all the damn time, Ogre. I love to do it. And let me tell you, man, every time I look at the sky, I swear to God, I see a dome shape happen. So if flat Earth theory is true, how the hell am I seeing this dome shape go?
That's because you've got a fisheye lens in your eye. You see, it's
fisheye
lens effect.
It just has. If you were to study art a lot and talk to people that knew a lot about, which I don't, knew a lot about perspective and field of vision, it would explain a lot of that. Feeling of, of that dome feeling. In fact, I go to the Big Sky country and. Mrs. Ogre and I have been there many times, and when you're there, you look up, and the sky does seem like this dome. But I want to reiterate, I never said I believe there was a dome. I said I believe there was a threshold of up, and that there was a huge plane. There was a plane that was infinite on all the way around us, that there was nothing up, nothing down, at least not very far, but on every side of us all the way around, it goes forever.
Oh, I'm disappointed now because no turtles.
No.
No giant turtles swimming through space.
I don't buy the turtle.
It's actually a tortoise.
But also, who is that pirate? That's actually a pretty good argument. The stars are a good and a bad argument for round Earth because we can see the same constellations right now that they can see in Australia, and that would kind of be impossible on a round Earth, as far as I know.
1918.
Wow.
Romneys of Kendall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Mrs. Ogre's talking about candy. I'm sorry.
Sorry. This is Ogre loves candy.
We're just a big candy in the middle of space, and just some heavenly deity is getting ready to munch us.
I don't know.
Apples.
And look, Mad Dodge, didn't I make myself out to be a crazy fanatic long enough? Can we move on to the early history?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if anyone would like to ask questions, because I'll still play the flat earther. If anyone else has any questions I'd like to field, I have studied this very deeply. I'd be happy to answer them as if I was a complete flat earther. So if there's anything else.
So I have a question. If we gather every person in the world on one side of the flat earth and everybody jumps, will that spin the flat earth?
Well, as I said
Yeah, you get one person on the other end, and he just fucking shoots out.
It's like a seesaw.
As I said before, to answer that question, I don't think that would have anything to do with it because I think that it's an infinite plane. So when you were on the outskirts of what we consider this Earth, whereas you could keep going forever in that direction, see, it wouldn't have any effect on any tilt because you're considered one flat plane like in space, but there is no space.
But if there's no space, how the hell is there a day and night cycle?
Yeah.
Because the sun revolved going around above the flat plane that we're on.
But the sun would always be out if that was the case, Ogre.
You can't see forever. If I had a helicopter above you at 10,000 feet and had a giant spotlight, if I kept flying away at if I kept flying away at the same height, that flight would look like it reached the horizon, disappeared, and sat. There's no, that's the way it would be.
Okay.
But there can't be any horizon to go past.
What you're arguing is that we don't have a flat Earth because you're just arguing that we have a flat, something.
Okay. He's got a flat head. That's what he's got.
We have our place on this giant infinite plane. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Dr. Deagle, that was the guy I was thinking of.
All right,
Dr.
good Lord. I gave him 2 more, Mad Dodge. I don't know what else I can do. My doobie's about rolled, so I'm fucking done. Good.
All right. Well, I have a short story that's related to this. It came from the Flat Earth Society's website. It's in their archives. Pendant, July 22nd, 1994. Footballer arrested to hide fake moonwalk. And it's really short. The Apollo moonwalk 25 years ago may have been an illusion. 9% of Americans surveyed in a recent poll. The survey, published in the Washington Post, found that Black Americans were the most skeptical. 20% said it was possible the Apollo moon landing never took place.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
On the 20th of July, 1969, while 16% were unsure. It was a way for the government to hide some more of the money they've blown. 40-year-old Debbie Dunham told the newspaper to be more skeptical. They have probably less reason to believe the government than anybody.
Bring out the nigger whipper.
Skeptics believe there is a broader government plot to fool the public. President of the Anti-Space Flat Earth Society said the hoax was exposed in the 1978 film Capricorn 1, in which the United States faked a Mars landing. The film was a former football star, O.J. Simpson, who is now accused of 2 murders. According to Mr. Johnson, the entire government space program is a hoax for OJ because he helped unmask it. Okay, take it away, guys. I'm sure you have something to say about that.
What the fuck did his 2 murders have anything to do with this story?
They found out?
Oh, Capricorn 1, though, that is predictive programming, I must say. Oh, come on, man. I just threw y'all a softball. Y'all should be jumping on that. Like, predictive programming, you fucking crazy flat. You know, I don't know.
Wow.
Well, no, I do. What if OJ was framed? Come on now. OJ was totally framed for this.
Fucking tumbleweeds, mate.
So my view is basically that, you know, it's obvious that we went to the moon. It's just that it was the Nazis that went to the moon.
Yes, the dark side.
Yeah, they're holding up there right now.
They are. Can't beat that film.
I would encourage each and everyone to watch the movie Iron
Sky. Yep, superb film. And it's got Nazi chicks with, you know, in suspenders. It's got everything.
Ooh, Dark City too. Anybody ever heard of Dark City?
Yeah, that's good.
Full on flat Earth. It shows the reality of the flat Earth. You go to Shell Beach. There is no Shell Beach.
Well, that isn't a flat Earth. It's just a big asteroid, isn't it?
But I'm wondering if flat Earth is a thing. Is like flat moon something?
Well, the moon is just a disk that's up there 4,000 miles above our head. It's only about 400 miles in circle.
Because I saw, I think it was Elon Musk that asked, like, if flat Earth is a thing, do we also have a flat Mars society? And the flat Earthers went. Like,
well, but see, the only way you can say that is if you stay with the globular idea in your brain. Once you break free from the globular chains, you realize that that's nonsense.
The Flat Earth Society, they responded to Elon Musk by saying that unlike the Earth, Mars has actually been observed to be round.
I'm glad that globular chains comment went over well. That's good.
They either have a real point or they're just looking for a free trip to space.
Hey, I say put all those people on the first spaceship to Mars, you know, the original colonizers. Get rid of them quick. If you're going to test something out, test it on them.
I'll go.
Yeah. We'd fund you.
I'd go just to get off the fucking planet at this rate. Fuck me.
Mrs. Ogre will stay here and keep Magic Bollocks company.
What up, 40?
Oh, I said I would go just to get off the planet.
40, I don't think it would help. I think Kim Jong-un is going to send a nuke after you anyway.
I'd be okay with that, too.
Trying to expose the South Pole. Get him!
Is gonna get so just like power hungry with his nuclear testing that he says, "Oh, I'm just gonna launch something at fucking Mars." Right.
Yeah, or Mars off the map.
It is a preemptive strike of shock and awe against the Martians.
Hey, we don't know that Martians may have WMDs.
Well, that's the thing. The problem is they're probably sleeping. We're going to wake them up.
And you know what? Them WMDs are north, south, east, and slightly west of the center of Mars. We got to bomb that shit.
Wait, didn't South Park already do this? They called it Imagination Land, and they attacked it.
Oh, I don't know, but it's funny.
Yeah. I can imagine, you know, the alt-right traveling to Mars and being like, yeah, you guys have no place in our ethno-planet.
Well, technically, I mean, according to Mr. Spencer, they just want a nice homeland for all the white people, which, whatever that may be. You could do that. What if President Trump was to do a grand bargain and say, all right, folks, we dedicate the territory of Mars to the alt-right for 100 years. I'm sorry I broke into the Jack Kennedy voice, but after 100 years, then we'll probably actually have technology to make it useful.
Well, build a wall on the moon, and the Martians should pay for it.
And y'all know what I say: alt-white is alt-right.
Oh, poor Andy the race Warski.
Oh, that's actually the white YouTuber, but close enough. They might as well be the same faggot. I mean, person.
Oh God.
I like the white YouTuber when he's on his knees in front of me. No, I'm just teasing. I like the guy. He's great.
Oh, did you guys see the headline that Vox had put out? I think Sargon posted it on Facebook. It was fucking funny.
Which one?
Let's see. I had to save it because it was actually quite amazing. Women's March expected to be the largest gathering of people with disabilities in U.S. history.
Oh, no, that was last year, I thought.
Well, then you need to get the largest eugenics group organised at the same time, and we can solve a lot of the world's problems.
Hi, everybody.
Oh dear God.
Oh, what was that? Oh, sorry, Mrs. Ogre, quit that shit.
Haven't seen you since I turned 18.
Your screen sharing that perverse crap.
I want a pedo bear Halloween costume.
I would do that. That would be weird.
That's so gross.
That'd be hilarious. Now that's funny. Bear Halloween costume. No, I know.
You would just absolutely have to chase children up and down the road if you wore that.
I would just wait until they came to my door, and I would be like, "Yeah, come inside for some candy."
Just peek around the corner. Thing. You let your kids out at night to walk around while wearing costumes, while a bunch of other folks are wearing costumes and masks, and take candy from strangers.
Yeah.
Imagine implementing a holiday like that nowadays.
It's pretty much everything against proper parenting.
Today it was,
but it worked.
It would basically just have been kind of like, you know, the gypsy holiday or something.
No, that they just come and tarmac your front yard.
Yeah, and then charge it right and give you a bill,
you.
Cabby. It's like, hey, we tarmacked it. Here's the bill. It's like, I didn't bloody ask for that.
Well, we done it now.
Here's
some lucky Heather.
It's like you bloody Romney, you fucking pikey, get the fuck out.
Trick or treat, I go trick. And the morning after, you find like 10 tents in your backyard.
Oh, mercy.
Wait a second, guys. I just came across something. Remember the old saying, "Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat." Yeah, no that. But what if that was just created by somebody that happened to have a foot fetish?
Oh.
Dun dun dun.
That something to it. Yeah.
Because there was some dude out there at some point. It's like, well, I don't have any candy, but I'll smell your feet.
I'll suck your toes.
Well, I mean, if they were over 18, I mean that would be okay. But you should leave the kiddos alone.
Yeah, but under the circumstances, it seems a little smell.
Let me tickle your instep.
Come here, little boy.
All right, let's get the kids out of this.
It doesn't go above the knee, you're fine.
Like stinky feet. Stinky feet are gross.
Well, it doesn't say. It says trick or treat, smell my feet, give me some good. It never says they're stinky feet.
Well, yeah, but I'm asking, if you have a foot fetish, who would want stinky feet anyway?
But what if they're well scrubbed? What if they're just out of the shower feet? Really
Well,
clean?
they're okay. I mean, they're clean feet, then they're not stinky.
Well, that still could be.
Well, you know, but that's
What if-
like
what if they
some
have
people
both?
like mild cheddar, some people like mature cheddar.
Right.
Oh my god. What has this conversation become?
They might have both a
Some
foot
like
fetish
Stilton.
and they might have both a foot fetish and like scat porn. You know, it's
Well, yeah, didn't you know the second half of that part, when they say give me something good to eat, they're actually talking about ass. They mean ass.
I mean, what?
Well, actually,
They want
now
to
that-
eat ass.
now,
That's
if
what
you
the
actually
song.
think that through with a level 200% perversion rate, yeah, that is actually pretty dirty.
No.
Ass, like the ass-eating squirrel, the reaper of butts.
What?
Folks, we need to keep this meme contained. The 9 of us in here must swear to never tell a soul.
I swear by Keck, I'll never tell a soul.
It says we're live, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. We're live.
Well, that's the end of that.
Too late.
I won't tell anyone, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to post this stream all over the internet.
The stream's gonna be up on YouTube. I don't really think secrecy.
Actually, hold on. No. This is an interesting argument. Now, this is an interesting argument. Here's the way I see it. This whole whatever left versus right, SJW versus anti-SJW thing. There's this whole war. Folks have been making money. Folks have been getting famous, unfamous, infamous, whatever the fuck you want to say. How do you essentially finish like a conflict? You need to do something like extraordinary. How do you finish something? Well, yes, but we're doing it in internet terms without actually murdering folks, because we've been through that before.
No, what you do is you get on a big battleship and you hang a big old sign that says "Mission Accomplished."
Right.
Too soon.
And you forget to undo your flight suit. So you're walking like a
No.
fucking
What I'm saying is, you know how we have this whole war on Christmas thing, and a lot of folks are like, Christmas. What if there was a war on Halloween?
I love Halloween.
I love Halloween too.
Well,
I'm like,
There's sort of always been a war on Halloween.
Right, because when it went from the Christians with the war on Halloween, now it's like you can't wear a fucking Pocahontas fucking. Yeah, there's always been a war on Halloween. It's my favorite bloody holiday after Thanksgiving.
But ask yourself, after your guys' selves this, what happens if somebody actually started to make arguments against Halloween and they started making perverted things, kind of like how we were just entertaining the idea of, oh, trick-or-treat's way, oh, look at all these connotations, oh, it's for this or that.
Memes, you sound like this isn't already something that is happening, and from a European Norwegian kind of standpoint, I can tell you there are already lots of people doing that.
I was about to say, well, don't give them any more ideas.
Halloween's never been a big thing over here anyway. We have Guy Fawkes Night.
Yeah, that's what the Brit told me. Guy Fawkes Night, the Halloween's bollocks. But what about like
I know
you got Krampus and stuff? What about the real Christmas rat resistance? Do you have like the Krampus and stuff and the real Father Christmas? Do you do that around Samhain, not Samhain, around Saturnalia? You know,
solstice.
So here's the deal. We have Yule in Norway, but it's like a, you know, we're fairly secular about our Christmas celebration. Some people go to church, and those people are, you know, okay. We treat them fine. We have stopped raping them. No, you know, but for the most part, the Norwegian Yule is not really a very religious sort of thing. It's mostly just a cultural thing where we celebrate with our families.
I know Yule. It's where you take your favorite servant and you tie him up with barbed wire and you throw them on a roaring fire, and then you read the sign of the next year, and they're writhing pain as they die. That's pretty cool.
What kind of a sissy version is it you have been taught?
No, that's pretty cool. I mean, when it comes right down to it, I mean, Yule rocks. And I know they make the Yule log in place of the the screaming, writhing human being. But I think they should bring back the old days where you just
do you guys have a channel where you have a burning virtual log? Because we do.
Yeah, we do.
Oh.
Well, I have a question. I was watching Trailer Park Boys when they went to Europe, and it was either Sweden or Norway, but they actually drank a
reindeer piss.
Yeah. Is that really a thing?
Yeah, because they eat the mushrooms, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So
so the piss gets you high?
Yeah.
I'm not going to speak. I'm just going to say that it doesn't happen in Norway, but I won't speak for the Swedes.
Well,
but we all know that's where they drink piss.
Hey, if there's psilocybin in it, give me a glass of that piss. I'll tell you.
Yeah, well, that's the way they did it. I mean, I know that it does happen in Finland. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things they just tell the tourists that that's what they do, just to laugh at us.
I'm guessing it's the same thing with riding the polar bears in Norway and whatnot.
Riding the polar bear.
Or drop bears in Australia.
Hey, don't listen to the drop bears. They'll steal your beers.
Boy,
They'll
riding the
they'll tear
polar
your
bears
face
in
off,
Norway.
man.
So what is the practical joke there? Do you guys just laugh at random tourists being mauled to death by fucking polar bears?
Thank
What's
you.
going on with that?
Of course,
That's
Darwinism.
Yeah.
Darwinism in action.
Whenever some 18-year-old boy travels to Svalbard and he goes out without a rifle and then he gets mauled to death by a polar bear. It's pretty funny.
Just hazing. It's harmless. It's hazing.
So what you're saying is Norwegians just like to see tourists drink rainbow piss and see the statistic of folks drinking rainbow piss going up from fucking 0.00001% to 0.1%.
Of course.
Only if they go out and fight a polar
enough.
bear afterwards.
Fair enough.
Well, if they're tripping at that point, they might.
Well, right. And besides that, if they're tripping out, it might be okay if the polar bear, when it's mauling them to death, it might, relieve some of the anxiety, and you think that maybe it's just a dream.
But
bad
if the polar bear actually eats the tripping person, would the polar bear then start to trip?
Yeah.
Lucky
Well,
him.
you are what you eat.
Why do you think that's obviously the reason the polar bears eat these people?
Maybe that's the reason the polar bears let
They're
people ride.
addicted to the drugs, man.
See, it's the cycle of life. Isn't it beautiful?
I'm fucking hauling ass. These people are losers.
Aww.
What? Oh, memes. How about that conversation we had the other night about
dear.
blood transfusions?
Yeah, that was crazy, man. That was crazy. You actually
Got
started
you
to become that
freaking, man.
person. And dude, as soon as you said that, I'm like, wait, there are genes that randomly turn on between like one generation?
Yeah.
That's
Same thing happens with organ transplants and everything. Yeah.
Well, you're saying like if you get a full blood transplant, transfusion, and it was say, from Native American or whatever. I mean, because everyone goes on about their percentages. I'm 8% this, I'm 5% that, 10% something or whatever. Well, what percentage then are you? Because that will go on to build more cells in you. So you are no longer.
It literally
who you
does
were.
modify some of your genetics.
Yeah.
It's quite easy to tell if you are white and then you get a full blood transfusion from a Native American, then Richard Spencer is going to release you back into the wild.
All right, so it's the Richard Spencer.
I've always wanted to be free. No, but the reason this came up is because one of the guys I was working with, he happened to give a blood transfusion to a young woman. He happened to have the closest matching blood type. And actually, it wasn't blood transplant. It was a bone marrow transplant. And he actually had given like more than the maximum. So she happened to be in cancer remission, and she needed the marrow to try to just overcome the cancer. And that full 2 pints, basically after the testing, everything's looking pretty good. But I guess what they said is at some point she adopted that marrow, and now her genetic makeup is so close to his that I think aside from like the heart and brain, they can pretty much, they are donors for each other right now. So if something horrible happened to one of them, like they could take a kidney and it would be the closest to an exact match as they could get.
Well, but remember, it's the marrow that makes the white blood cells, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's now become, effectively her, her own internal defenses. I mean, the white blood cells are for immune system, aren't they?
No, when
So
he
she would have
when he told
also
me that, I was like,
adopted
what
the
the?
immune system of the donor.
No, it makes sense. It does make sense.
That is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It's almost like human beings should help each other out more because it's beneficial to us.
No, don't do that.
Well, it's also the whole donating marrow is fucking painful.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah, there you
Forget about
go. You're back on the right track with that one.
Ah, individual self-interest. Gotcha.
So, Quinn in the side chat brought up the Mandela effect. What about the Berenstain Bears? You guys
Oh
know what
no,
I'm talking
please.
about?
What?
I remember.
Let's not go into this rabbit hole.
Oh, the Mandela effect is an interesting thing. It's a in Norway they were never. I don't think that's the name of the show in Norway.
Oh, I thought it just
Well,
they had a German spelling and an American spelling.
No, I remember it being Stain, not Steen.
But here's the deal with the Mandela effect. It's more just a sign of a group consciousness more than it is,
Or the freaking
it's
people
groupthink. I
in
mean, you could say that feminism was a
The
Mandela
Matrix.
effect.
The Matrix. Come on now. We are living in a computer program, people. It's a really, really good version of Civ 5.
Well,
Well,
according to Elon Musk, it's a very high chance that we actually do live in a computer program.
Yes, but Elon Musk is going on about fucking Hyperloop, and that's impossible.
Not impossible, just not currently as realistic as we would like.
Not
Might I add to you
Wait,
that
follow me
500 years
follow me
ago,
for a second.
500 years ago, it seemed
MD,
impossible
go
that we would ever fly.
Well, just real quick, follow me down this rabbit hole for a little bit. That would explain a lot. You like reincarnation, these kids who think that they were somebody else and they have memories.
You just respawn?
The data gets recycled, right?
No, it's just like
The
Super
data
Mario
program
when
is
you run into that first
So,
Goomba. Dun,
yeah,
dun, 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 dun,
You're
dun.
talking about scratch memory, where memory hasn't been reallocated properly because of some dodgy software. So you end up with a pointer out of place.
No, you respawn. You have a next life. You just come
That's
into
what I
being.
mean.
You play the game.
But
again.
if you had the memory, then you could have memories. It wouldn't even have to be your memories. It could have been a previous player's memories.
Well, it's like manually deleting a hard drive. There's still an image there.
A missed memory allocation, to somebody else who played before you. That's why people think that they were Napoleon or whatever.
Okay, but here's the deal, though. Here's like maybe I have a little bit of a simplistic view on this, but so let's take World of Warcraft as an example here. And if you play on your character in World of Warcraft and you just log off, then your character disappears. Why don't that ever happen then?
Because we live in more of Ark Survival Evolved, where you log off, you're still there. But you can re-roll.
And you can.
Why do we not experience lag? Anyway.
Oh, we do. People say that you go into a room and you forget what the fuck you're doing in a room. It's like I came in here for some reason, I got no idea what the fuck it was.
Yeah, but usually going back out from that room will actually trigger your memory.
Exactly, which means that you're passing but that's like a room trigger, like a trigger on the floor or whatever in a game, but will trigger an action or
too
trigger
much web traffic,
an activity within the game,
like an AI repathing itself. Yeah,
that's right. It was drop packets.
Ooh, but we call them brain farts because fart makes everyone laugh.
Yeah, the farts are always funny.
Okay, so what's dementia then?
That is lag.
Dementia is when you end up with it's a logic bomb. It's when you hit a piece of the program that's been written by a fucking intern in South Korea, and the software crashes.
That's what happened to all those.
I'm basically just asking.
No, guys, what really happened in 2012, the world ended and so like scientists saw this coming and started smashing all these fucking different molecules together, right? And somehow that ripped us into a universe where Earth was not in its place anymore. It was destroyed. So now we're in that Earth's place, and we prevented the disaster in 2012.
So the Large
That's the
Hadron Collider
Mandela.
worked.
Yeah, the Hadron Collider could be our version of it. So it's fractal. It keeps on happening.
Basically, we're just a real life version of BioShock Infinite. That's all I'm trying.
BioShock. That's a good game.
Wait, is that why they're releasing all those UFO photos then? Just because they're like, well, we can't give them all the endgame weapons and stuff so fast, so we have to slowly introduce it.
Right, yeah.
Well, it's a way of getting credit, isn't it? You know, you draw out your revenue supply.
Wait, that would explain why folks are just virtue signaling so much. They're trying to earn all those achievement points.
There you go.
Well, then let me ask you this. Where the fuck are my loot boxes? Because I want to skip some of the fucking content.
Hey,
Yeah, I've
you
made
gotta
plenty
grind that
of
shit out for.
I've made plenty of microtransactions in life. I want my fucking loot boxes.
Damn fucking right.
I'm not sure I enjoy where this is going, because I'm starting to think this is making more and more sense.
We're actually convincing you. Yay! The conspiracy is work. Mad Dodge. The channel has achieved.
We're now a cryptoid channel, everybody, just to let you know.
Well, long live gamer theory.
So how do we experience new patches?
We got to go to the South Pole.
How do we experience patches? Ooh, that's a good question.
Patches are your dream state.
Yeah.
That's your patch updates coming in.
Yep.
Yeah, no, the server's down.
Yeah, see? I got this all covered, mate. Don't you worry. I thought this through.
Have any of you guys ever heard of a thing called SimSense?
What was
Simulated
sense?
Sim.
Like synchronized or?
No, simulated sense. SimSense.
Oh, yeah.
That is what we're going through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
that
that's
stuff
how you
that
have
shows the
with
trees like in
prosthetics.
real life and like actually in the human mind.
No, what it is that there's a data jack rammed into your skull, and it makes you believe that you are touching and experiencing this thing, even though you're just sitting back on your sofa playing your computer game.
Yeah, they do them. It came from prosthetics because they're using them for things like fingertips, you know, so people can feel actual touch. They got biofeedback on the prosthetic.
Similar to a cochlear implant.
Yeah.
Well, so is there another universe in our computers and online? Like when we're playing Civ, is that a whole other reality?
Yeah. What did you do, Mad Dog? Did you take shrooms before you started the stream? Is that why everything was so, trippy?
Nope.
So I have a question. Another question, I should say. So do you guys remember? And of course, you guys are of varying ages, but do you guys remember playing video games like 20 years ago or 15 years?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember they
taught me how to read.
Do you look back at some of those games? Like I can remember I played the first Max Payne game, and I thought it looked 100% realistic when I played it the first time.
Yeah, well, I remember playing Manic Miner on the Commodore 64. I didn't think it looked realistic, but I thought it was fun.
Well, let's go to a little bit after that, or probably right around the same time. I remember I was watching on TV. All of a sudden, I just see this animation comes up, this huge fucking monster. All this shit I'm watching, I'm like, oh my god, I need to see this movie. And at the end, Final Fantasy VII. Dude, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, when I was a kid, people were still having to dress up like fucking rubber suits and shit.
I can even take a later.
Don't hit him, God.
I can take a later point, like Half-Life 2. When that came out, people were like, "Holy shit, this looks completely lifelike." And at this point, I would be like, "Yeah, really?"
Not in that Gmod type fucking.
Like there are a lot of pointy shapes in there.
Yeah, it's all relative because it's down to the polygons, isn't it? You know, the rendering capacity of the time. You know,
We've gotten more
Well,
picky
having-
with HD.
yeah, but the thing, if you go back and you look at, I think, was it Babylon 5 that was completely rendered using an Amiga?
Yep.
You know, like an old home Amiga. That's what they were using. They were using like a cluster of Amigas to do the rendering for Babylon 5. It's amazing. I mean, it still looks good to this day.
My point is mostly just that, you know, just to hammer a little bit on the Mandela effect, sort of a point there. Whereas we seem to remember things different, or we seem to remember things differently than what they maybe were.
Oh god, yeah. There's nothing worse than going back and playing a really old crap. You know, well, a game that you used to really enjoy, and then you go back and you see just how clunky it is.
Yeah.
Bad.
Well, you brought up Half-Life. The only thing I remember about that game is it crashed my buddy's computer like 3 times. He could never get it to fucking work.
Oh.
I like Half-Life. Not that bad.
No, but it's interesting how we all have certain things that bring up, and there might not be anything that actually happened, but there's a certain group of folks that actually perceived it in an extremely similar way. That's essentially the essence of the Mandela effect. But like, what are some other good ones?
Well, I suppose also it's when it's a children thing. When we're looking back at the the games that we watched as kids have much more, they have better imagination, so they're willing to fill in the gaps. You don't have to provide them with so many specific. They'll like. It doesn't matter that it's a slightly blocky creature. In their minds, it's whatever they create it into. Yeah, whereas adults are far more critical about these things.
So, did any of you guys see the Shazam movie?
The one with Sinbad, or the one, or the other one that actually existed?
Oh shit!
Yeah, no, the
one with Shaq.
Yeah.
That's Kazam.
Yeah, no, the one with Sinbad.
That's Shazam.
Yeah. That's the one I'm going for. The one, basically the one that doesn't exist.
I thought it was a show on a show or something.
No, Sinbad has came out and said he never was a genie in a movie in the 90s, like at all. He never played that part.
Are you sure he's not just trolling us?
It's I think one of the more famous Mandela effect things must be the Star Wars one.
I'm so glad someone else mentioned this.
Which one is that?
Luke, I am your father.
No, and it is Luke, I am your father. Like,
no, it is no, I am your father.
He never says his name. And yet, when they actually interviewed the guy that done the voice,
doesn't. The conversation goes that Luke tells him that, "Oh, you're a monster. You killed my father," and then Darth Vader goes, "No, I am your father."
But the whole point is that he did kill him. He did kill his father because the bad side of him coming out was like his father, the father he perceived. It's like a child.
That's how Ben Kenobi explained it.
Recognizing daddy is not perfect. He became a bad daddy.
I'm just saying, let's all remember that Ben Kenobi had the high ground. But
that's true.
I
actually
would
think it comes.
differ.
Oh, good.
I would beg to differ. I remember Ben Kenobi having the low ground, in fact. But clearly another mystery of the Mandela effect, I believe.
See, I think Luke, I am your father just came about from folks spoiling the movie from other folks.
Well, what about Mirror?
No, it's a quintessential part of the film.
Mirror on the wall.
Mirror
yeah,
on
magic
the
mirror on the wall.
Yeah. Who is the fairest of them all? Yeah. But then again, that came from a really dark fairy tale. I mean, if you read the original book, it's nothing like the bullshit Disney thing.
Brothers Grimm were very
Yeah, the Brothers Grimm, most of their,
shit.
Most of the Grimm brothers fairy tales were kind of dark.
Well, most of them were at that time.
Yeah.
They were all pretty, because they were preparing kids for a hideous life that was to come.
Yeah, and they were like, "Hey, kids, shut the fuck up and go to bed.
If you don't, this thing's going to eat you. So
Yeah, we actually have our
better than the
own,
boogeyman.
we have our own version of the Brothers Grimm in Norway.
I think every culture in Europe pretty much has one, don't they? And the French has got one. Even the French, I should say, have got one.
Yeah.
We've got it because it came down with the Nordics. You know, obviously with all the the invasions of the Vikings coming over and all that stuff. By the way, we want reparations, you fuckers.
Hey, you are not getting a single fucking dime.
We want reparations. We want some of that oil money, you fucks.
You can.
You
can
abused
suck,
us.
You can. Yeah, you can suck our oil money.
Coming down here, raping and pillaging like I don't know what.
Yeah.
I think we should.
You know what?
We want our shekels.
We would do it again.
No, but you didn't do it the first time. Remember, that was part of the missing time thing. That never happened.
Right. Norway wouldn't do it now. They couldn't get enough Arabs on
Did
board.
you guys hear? I'm not sure about if you guys have already talked about this today, but did you guys hear? Have you guys heard about the whole theory about Charlemagne never existing?
Yeah, which is crap because they've proven it with DNA. Because most of the people in Europe are somehow related to Charlemagne. So people in Eastern Europe are related to Genghis Khan.
Well, that's
they did that massive.
timeline.
Yeah, but there was a Glaxo Wellcome. You know the big genome project.
But that's a mathematical thing. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but he must have existed in order to be part of a mathematical thing, right? If he didn't exist, then
because you can
his
take
relative contribution would have been zero.
You can take anyone from the time Charlemagne is supposedly from.
Yeah, but it must have been somebody in power because that's the only way you can put it about that much.
Yeah, that's true. Like personally, I do believe that Charlemagne existed, but I actually just this week learned about the whole theory that he didn't.
Yeah, that's because Mad Dog looks up some weird shit.
Yeah, it was actually one of my friends, apprentice wizard. He was the guy that mentioned it to me.
And you contaminated Mad Dodge with this nonsense.
Yeah, I thought he would be interested in hearing it.
He likes a good conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wearing my tinfoil hat right now just for this show.
Tinfoil top hat, I hope.
Pixar didn't happen.
Okay, it's just a freaking baseball hat. Fuck off, memes.
Just be thankful it wasn't a tinfoil codpiece.
Well, it should have been. It wouldn't have all that fucking noise in the background.
It's only 2% effective as contraception.
Fucking armored condoms. Does it come with a lance?
Insert your own.
But yeah, we have one last theory to cover: the Hollow Earth. So the Earth is not flat. It is, matter of fact, it's hollow, and the lights from the northern lights and the southern, it's from inside the Earth. That's the cities inside the hollow Earth.
Huh.
I'm not touching that.
Didn't know there were cities inside the Hollow Earth. Interesting.
Well, yes.
Well, if you to take the conversation back to Iron Sky, they are making a sequel, and the sequel will be about Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
So
looking forward to that.
So here's an interesting concept. They always say it's like, well, aliens may have come here. Maybe aliens started us in the experiment. What if the aliens were the original Earthlings and they just happen to be a type of species that has to live subterranean because that's optimal for them, and they had this big blue marble in the sky? They're like, what the hell can we do here? Let's start a terrarium.
Maybe.
Wouldn't surprise me, to be honest with you. Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, maybe there's some of these ships we're seeing. What if they're not actually extraterrestrials? It's just a UFO. It's an unidentified flying object. They're not saying it's from outer space. It could be from South Pole and shooting across the world at extremely high speeds?
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird, man. But that would be crazy.
Yeah, I got nothing.
No, I mean there are certain. It's like the flat thing, isn't it? There's really at some point it does. Well, it's like you saying oh you just got trolled or whatever. It's like if you engage in this nonsense, then I mean someone's just going to say oh got you because you engage in the crazy.
You mean like Twitter?
Well, exactly, which is why I don't have a Twitter account.
I'm just saying, if somebody's making a ridiculous statement or something, as soon as you engage in it, like, just don't you start a fight?
Usually.
Well,
that's what I mean. So therefore, there's no gotchas then, because it's all just for the shits and giggles.
That right there is the reason the ethno-state debate is actually a debate nowadays.
Mm.
I was gonna say, isn't that like why you had the whole kind of skeptic-ish community, or certain folks SJW, anti-SJW? Isn't that where there comes from? Just kind of pick some crazy out there things.
Oh no, come on, no,
because
but they're liberalists. Oh my god, new title. Everyone's got to learn it. Well, isn't that being forced to use another personal pronoun? I don't know. It sounds a bit sketchy.
It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea because here's the thing: if you're going around saying I'm a classical liberal, folks will just say, "Oh, you're just lying to me" or something like that. You're not a liberal because they're thinking more of the American context. Where if you say liberalist, they'll pause for a second, like I haven't heard that. They actually look it up and they're like, "Okay, It's essentially
and they look it up and they say, "Oh, it's a made-up word that was just made up last year, and now we're going
if you
to
get enough people saying it, it becomes a word."
It is a word in Norway.
Yes, but Norway.
Yeah, we are the most important nation in the world. Donald Trump wants all of us to move to America. So.
Is he going to adopt you like some surrogate child?
He would rather have us than the people from the shithole countries. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, you definitely don't want to go the way of Sweden. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. By the way, Mad Dodge, I posted a meme for you in the general chat in the Discord.
All right, cool. Any other conspiracy theories you guys could think of? This is probably going to be a short episode. The noise behind me is pretty unbearable. I can't even unmute. So,
well, I used to say that 7-Eleven was a part-time job.
So no, we're good. All right, yeah. This has been the Redeye number 75. See you again on Friday.